All right, buckle up, because today's deep dive is going to blow your mind. We're going behind the scenes at Netflix.
Ooh,
You know
Netflix.
how you love digging into the nitty-gritty of how complex systems work?
Always?
Well, we scored this awesome article straight from the Netflix technology blog, and let me tell you, it's way more complicated than just hitting play on your remote.
You think you know how something works, and then
You see the behind the scenes.
Exactly.
It's wild.
Yeah, and this article pulls back the curtain on how they get all that content and features onto your screen crazy fast.
Like lightning fast.
Pretty impressive stuff.
So what's the secret sauce? What's going on behind those loading screens?
Well, most people don't realize there's this whole other world humming along behind their Netflix experience.
Right.
It's all about making it seamless, and this article zeroes in on this system they've built called Pushy.
Pushy. Okay, is that like some aggressive Netflix executive forcing us to press play?
Not quite, although I wouldn't put it past them to at least think about it. No, Pushy is actually all about communication, but in a way you wouldn't expect.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
So imagine for a second you want updates from Netflix, right? New episodes, a friend joins your watch party, you know, those little things.
The important things.
Exactly. The old way this worked was through something called polling. And it was basically your device constantly asking, anything new, anything new. It's kind of like...
Like when you're a kid and you keep asking your parents if you're there yet on a road trip.
Exactly.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And just like your parents, Netflix probably got a little tired of hearing it.
So Netflix got annoyed and invented a whole new system.
Well, their engineers are pretty smart, so they came up with the system called Pushy that uses these things called persistent WebSocket connections.
Okay, hold on, backing up for a second. WebSocket connections. I'm picturing like a network of tubes or something.
It's more like having a direct line to Netflix that's always open.
Okay.
And because it's a two-way communication, it means your device isn't constantly nagging Netflix for updates.
So no more are we there yet?
Exactly. Netflix just tells your device what's new the second it's new.
Oh, I see. So it's less shouting into the void and more of a direct conversation?
Precisely.
Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Mm.
But what does it actually look like for us regular Netflix users?
Yeah.
What kind of magic does this pushy thing actually enable?
Well, think about it this way. Remember when you had to refresh Netflix to see if a new episode dropped or a new season was added?
Oh, yeah. It was the worst.
Not anymore. With Pushy content, rows can update in real time, so you see that new episode appear the moment it's available.
It's like magic.
It's even the technology that powers things like voice control with Alexa.
Oh, no way.
Yep, all those instant updates are thanks to Pushy.
Wow. So they basically reinvented the way our devices talk to Netflix just to get rid of that annoying refresh button.
Pretty much, but here's the really impressive part. Netflix didn't just build this for the newest devices with all the bells and whistles.
Oh, really? They didn't just focus on the people with the latest and greatest tech.
Nope. They managed to get Pushy working on almost 1 billion devices.
A billion with a B.
That's right, including older models. So we were talking about TVs that were practically vintage when streaming was invented.
That's some serious dedication to the user experience.
Absolutely. They wanted to make sure everyone could experience the magic of instant updates.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I gotta imagine getting that many devices on a platform as massive as Netflix all on the same page must come with some serious challenges.
Oh, you have no idea. We're just scratching the surface.
All right, cliffhanger.
Right.
I can handle it, but you better believe I'm going to need to hear all about those challenges and how they tackled them.
Don't worry, we're going deep on that next.
Can't wait. All right, last time we left off with like 1 billion devices all trying to chat with Netflix at the same time using this pushy system.
It's a lot of chatter.
It's a lot. I don't think I have that many friends.
Right.
So how does Netflix make sure this pushy thing can actually handle all of that without, like, exploding the internet?
Well, exploding might be a slight exaggeration.
Okay.
But it's definitely a huge challenge, and that's where their engineering really shines.
Okay, so they didn't just, like, throw a bunch of servers at the problem and hope for the best.
It takes a little more finesse than that.
Okay, so what'd they do?
The article dives into how they tackled this challenge by focusing on 3 key areas:
Okay, hit me.
the message processor, the push registry, and their overall scaling strategy.
Okay, whoa, slow down there, Sparky. Let's break those down one by one.
Sure.
Starting with this message processor thing. What is that exactly?
So you can imagine with all these messages flying back and forth,
Like a digital free-for-all?
basically you need something that can direct traffic and make sure everything gets where it needs to go. That's the message processor.
So like an air traffic controller for Netflix data?
Perfect analogy. That's exactly what it is.
I'm getting good at this.
You are.
So they've got this air traffic control system making sure messages don't collide or anything.
And they actually had to revamp this system as Pushy grew.
What do you mean revamp? Like it wasn't good enough anymore?
It worked well initially, but as the scale increased, they needed something even more robust. And you're not going to believe this, but their solution was actually to simplify.
Wait, really? I thought more complexity meant more better.
Not always. They realized they needed to prioritize automation and stability above all else.
So they went with the whole keep it simple, stupid approach.
Exactly. It's like they replaced a team of expert jugglers with a well-oiled machine. Less flashy maybe, but way more dependable when you're dealing with this kind of volume.
Okay, that makes sense. But we still got two more pieces to this puzzle.
Right, what about this push registry thing?
Ah, yes, the push registry.
It sounds official.
It is. This is basically Netflix's massive directory of all the devices connected through Pushy.
So like a phone book for every device that wants to chat with Netflix.
Exactly. It lets them keep track of who's connected and what they're capable of receiving.
Okay, makes sense. But how do they actually manage all that information? A giant spreadsheet somewhere.
That would be a nightmare. They actually switched to a system called key value. Key value. Is that like a super secret code word for something?
Sort of. It's all about speed and scale. Imagine needing to find one specific book in a library with billions of books.
I'm already overwhelmed.
Right. That's what key value solves. It makes information retrieval insanely fast, even with that much data.
Okay, so we've got our air traffic controller for messages, our super-powered librarian for devices, but we're still missing one piece of the puzzle.
The servers.
Right. All of this has to run somewhere. And with that many connections, it can't just be one computer in someone's basement.
Definitely not. This is where their scaling strategy comes in.
So how do they make sure all these different parts work together smoothly?
Well, they had to figure out how to add more servers as needed.
Because more users equals more servers.
Exactly. But it's not just about adding more. It's about doing it in a way that's efficient and make sure no single server failure can take down the whole system.
Okay. So how do they find that balance?
Through a lot of testing and fine-tuning, they landed on a sweet spot where each server can handle a remarkable 200,000 connections.
200,000. That's insane. And I'm guessing that number can go up if they needed to.
You got it. They built in room to grow. So even if one server goes down, the system can gracefully handle the influx of reconnecting devices.
Gracefully being the key word here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want any Netflix interruptions.
Exactly. It's all about making sure your streaming experience is as smooth as possible.
So they've got all this incredible tech working behind the scenes just so we can watch Stranger Things without a buffering icon.
Pretty much.
I'm starting to feel like we take all this for granted.
Maybe a little, but that's kind of the point, right? It should just work.
That's true. But it's still fascinating to peek behind the curtain and see the ingenuity that goes into building these systems.
Absolutely. And we're not done yet.
Yeah.
There's even more to this Pushy system than meets the eye.
Oh, really? Okay. Now you've got my attention. Don't leave me hanging. Okay, so last time we were talking about how Netflix wrangles a gazillion devices with this thing called Pushy.
It's pretty wild, right?
Wild's an understatement, but I feel like there's something even bigger here we haven't really touched on.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked about Pushy being this two-way street between Netflix and our devices.
Right.
But is it really a two-way street if it's just the server telling my TV what to do?
Yeah.
Like, do I ever get to talk back?
That's the thing about Netflix. They're always pushing the envelope. It's not just about server-to-device communication anymore.
Oh, really?
Pushy actually enables some really cool stuff like this thing called direct push.
Direct push. Okay, now that just sounds aggressive.
It's more like a direct line straight to your device instead of messages going through a queue.
Okay.
It's like everyone gets a VIP pass, no more waiting in line.
So it's faster, but does that really affect me while I'm, like, trying to figure out who done it in the latest thriller?
It's not just about speed, it's about reliability. With direct push, if your device is offline for a sec, the system knows to try again later. No more missed messages, no more glitches because something didn't load at the right time.
So it's working, even when I'm not looking. That's my kind of tech support, the invisible kind.
Exactly, it just works.
But there's something else, right? Something about, like, my devices talking to each other. Now that's where things get really sci-fi.
You're thinking about device-to-device communication.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yep, and it's just as futuristic as it sounds. Remember that Netflix game Triviaverse?
Oh, yeah, the one where you can use your phone as a controller.
That's powered by Pushy. Your phone and TV are actually having a little chat thanks to Netflix.
Hold on. So while I'm trying to remember the capital of Burkina Faso, my phone isn't just talking to Netflix, it's talking directly to my TV. That's insane.
Pretty much.
That's both amazing and slightly terrifying. Is Netflix listening to my conversations about what trivia category to pick next?
That's a fair question, but don't worry, they've got some pretty serious security measures in place. Only authorized devices can talk to each other. It's like a super exclusive club, and only your Netflix devices get to be members.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better, but this all sounds incredibly complicated. How do they actually pull it off?
It's all about coordination. Netflix has to keep track of all the devices connected to your account, enable them to discover each other, and then make sure those messages are transmitted securely and with minimal lag.
So basically a whole lot of tech wizardry happening behind the scenes, just so my phone and TV can play nice.
Precisely.
So what does all of this mean for the future of entertainment? Are we all going to be controlling our TVs with our minds next?
Well, I can't promise mind control just yet.
Oh, man.
But jokes aside, Netflix is clearly committed to pushing the boundaries with tech like Pushy, and it has huge implications for the future of entertainment.
Like what? Give me the good stuff.
Well, we're already seeing more interactive, personalized experiences. Think massive watch parties, live events, games that bring you closer to your favorite shows, and it's only going to get wilder from here.
It's like the difference between watching a play and actually being part of the action.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to this system most people don't even know exists. Well, I'm officially mind blown. This deep dive into Pushy has been incredible. I had no idea there was so much going on behind the scenes just to get that instant watch experience.
It really makes you appreciate the complexity of these systems we use every day.
Absolutely. A huge thanks to the Netflix Technology blog for this fascinating peek behind the curtain. And to you, our listener, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring the hidden world of tech, because you never know what you might discover.